What is going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Before we start with the video, I just want to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel for more NBA content like this. And also, if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like. It only takes 2 seconds and it makes a big difference in helping this channel grow, and I will greatly appreciate it. Alright, today in this video, before the dog starts barking, I want to talk about the New York Knicks, and they are probably, other than the Lakers, the most disappointing team this season. If the season ended today, February 5th, they would be the 12th seed in the East. So not even the play-in tournament. Like, they wouldn't even be a play-in team. And that's very disappointing given the high expectations that there were going into the season. And a lot of it had to do with the success of last year. The Knicks were very good. Julius Randle was terrific, especially, in the regular season. His numbers all shot up. The team was playing incredible. Their defense was amazing. They had so many young guys that were just playing well. They got the 4th seed, but then they collapsed in the playoffs, right? Trae Young owned MSG, right? But still, it was a good season for the Knicks, and it was like, okay, there's something to build off of here, right? Julius Randle got a big extension. They were like, okay, we have our guy now. We can just build around him and take this team to another level, but that's not what's happened. And that's an understatement. This team has fallen off a cliff. They've gone back to basically what the Knicks have been for however many years, right? Last year was fun. Last year was cool, but they're basically back to where they were before that, where they have a not so great roster that is not playing all that well, and it's just bad. Like, there's no direction now, because it's like, okay, what do you do now? You put all your eggs into this basket of, all right, we have this success now, and we want to just kind of sustain it, right? And people thought that getting Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier were going to be a big difference, right? I was not one of those people. I did not think that. I thought it would be a good move, but I did not think it was going to elevate their team that much. I thought they'd be kind of where they were. I didn't think they'd be this bad, though. That I will say for sure. Kemba Walker is not even in the rotation right now. He's only there because of injuries to, like, Derrick Rose and stuff. But, he came in, he played a little bit, played well, but also pretty bad. He was very up and down. And then Thibodeau just took him out of the lineup, like, completely. And, it's funny because as a Bulls fan who, watched teams coached under Tom Thibodeau, this is what he does. And people have been screaming it from the mountaintops, right? Year 2 Thibodeau. It's a real thing. His philosophy kind of changes after 1 year. Because think of where he's gone, right? He had one good year in Minnesota that year with Jimmy Butler, and they made the playoffs. He had one incredible season with the Bulls, and then one good year last year with the Knicks. But after that, it wasn't like he did anything crazy, with the exception of the Bulls, because that was just a good roster, right? But, in Minnesota, one playoff appearance, and then everything fell apart after that. The Knicks, one playoff appearance, and things are kind of heading into that fall apart direction, right? There is no real direction with this team. Is disappointing because, it's what Thibodeau does, right? He has this, like, no BS mentality where it's like, if you're not playing well, I will take you out of the lineup completely, right? Like, they traded for Cam Reddish, right? A guy who was very vocal about his unhappiness in Atlanta. He wanted more opportunity, and he got traded to the Knicks. The Knicks traded for him and was like, okay, this is a good spot for him. He's going to be able to elevate. He's with this Duke guy, RJ Barrett. He's going to get some valuable minutes on a better team. Maybe this elevates his game and the Knicks game, and they can, turn the season around. He's not even in the rotation now. Like, I don't even know how many games he played with the Knicks. Like, 2 or 3, maybe? And now he's not even in the rotation? Like, Tibbs makes no sense. This is what he does. He also just doesn't play his young guys. And the people he does play, he plays them a ridiculous amount of minutes. Like, that's the one thing that everyone knows him for, right? But it's true. He plays guys a ridiculous amount of minutes. Like, Julius Randle, if I looked up his minutes per game, like, Julius Randle's at 35, but, like, it's still, like, all these guys getting these, like, ridiculous amount of minutes per game. It's crazy what he does. And, people say it's what led to Derrick Rose getting his ACL tear. I'm not going to go into that. But, the Knicks, honestly, and they don't even have the excuse that other teams have with, like, injuries and stuff. Because, yeah, Derrick Rose is injured, and he is a good part of this team, right? When the Knicks played earlier in the season, when Rose was healthy, their plus minus with and without Derrick Rose was a huge difference, which is kind of sad that you have to rely on like a 33-year-old point guard who's way past his prime to kind of carry the team or be your like main guy. That shouldn't be the case when you have a lot of young guys that you can build off of, right? You have Quickly, but he hasn't been shooting that well. Nowhere near the level of last year. Quentin Grimes is okay, but he's still a rookie growing. Obi Toppin is okay, like a decent defender, but not really much after that. I want to go back to Julius Randle thing. I'm sorry. His numbers this season are atrocious. I'm going to just say it. Like, last year was clearly a fluke. I mean, the Knicks season in general was clearly a fluke, but Julius Randle in particular dropped to 18 points a game, and that's not even the worst part. His shooting splits this season are terrible. His three-point percentage last year was what? I'm trying to look it up right now. He shot 41% on 5 attempts last year. This year, the same amount of attempts, and he's shooting 30%. Like, that's terrible. His true shooting percentage is like 50%. That's down. His numbers have just not been there. And then when you watch the games, his effort's not there either. Like, this team is not good defensively either, and I don't know what it is. Like, is it just an effort thing? And then you have the whole drama with, you know, the fans booing him or calling him overrated and him, like, flipping them off. Like, it's just nasty stuff all around, to be honest. Like, and now they're talking about trading him. I don't know how legit that is, honestly. Right? Like, a Twitter account called Ballsack Sports said it. Hard to believe, right? But still, like, that's a conversation now, regardless, right? Even if it is a report from Ballsack Sports, people are going to talk about it like, oh, this last year was a fluke. He's clearly not the guy, right? We saw it in the playoffs last year, and we're seeing it now this season. What do you do if you're the Knicks? I don't know what you do if you're the Knicks. There's reports in the trade deadline that, like, they want De'Aaron Fox. I'm sorry. That would not happen unless they gave up Julius Randle. And even if they did that, the team is not going to be that much better, right? I love De'Aaron Fox, but he has not played well this season, and I don't think he moves the needle that much. But I don't know what the Knicks do. Like, the trade deadline's coming up, obviously, right? Like, I don't know if you get depth pieces. You clearly need guards because, you know, you won't play Kemba Walker. Derrick Rose is hurt. Quickly is not a point guard. He's just like a shooter, right? He could shoot, and even he's a shooter, but he can't shoot. You know what I mean? But the Knicks just need, like, something to, like, bring some life to them, and I don't know what it is. I really don't. RJ Barrett's the only bright spot on this team. He's been playing really well. Let me see. His numbers on paper are not that better, right? But then if you look at things like his shooting percentage, actually that's kind of down. But honestly, even if you don't look at the numbers, watch the games, he's carrying the team, right? He's doing like a half of what Julius Randle did last year, where Julius Randle was the guy that they went to for a lot of the possessions. But now it's Barrett. And good for him, right? He's playing well. But obviously it's not going to be enough to win games, especially when you have like an offense that just is so anemic. Like, I don't even, like, it's just so predictable. Like, Julius Randle is ISO at the top of the key. He goes left, and then he does, like, either he like pulls up from the elbow that doesn't go in, or he does a post up fadeaway that doesn't go in, or he shoots a three that doesn't go in. Like, the offense is just predictable. There's no sets. It's very kind of ISO ball. Like, even RJ Barrett does ISO ball. It works for him, but it's not sustainable. It's just a mess right now. I don't know what you do if you're the Knicks, but to be 24-28 right now and to be on the verge of missing the play-in tournament is going to be very interesting, because now it's like, okay, this team went from, okay, there's something here to build off of, to maybe build a really good team, to, do we start over again? Or do we just, like, we're back to being Knicks. The Knicks are back to being the Knicks that we all know, right? Last year was a fluke. It's very clear now. No one can say otherwise. And look, as a petty Bulls fan, I think it's hilarious how going into the season, all these players, all these people on Twitter, right? Like, when the Bulls did their offseason, everyone said that it didn't matter. They weren't even going to beat the Knicks. The Knicks were better. I heard that so much on Twitter last summer. And to now be where the Knicks are 12th and the Bulls are, for now, first. It's hilarious. I just think it's hilarious. Especially with all the shit the Knicks talks have, right? And it's even funnier because, and this is just like a sidebar thing, right? But that first game of the season in Madison Square Garden against the Celtics, right? It went to like, what, double or triple overtime, and the Knicks won that game. I remember Evan Fournier went crazy, but the Knicks won that game barely, but beat the Celtics in like double overtime, triple overtime. And then Side Talk New York, they do great content, right? They did the Bing Bong video, right? They did that video when the Bing Bong thing went viral. And that was the saying, right? Bing Bong, everyone did it, right? After that video, the season went fucking downhill for them. It's hilarious. You cannot deny how objectively funny it is that they did the Bing Bong thing and now their season is basically shit. It's funny. I can't deny it. And as a Bulls fan who likes to shit talk a little bit, I enjoy the suffering, kind of, right? But still, it's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks do, especially if they don't even make the play-in. There's going to be some interesting decisions to make, right? Coaching, players, personnel-wise. It's going to be interesting. And the fact that, I'm recording this on, February 5th, by the time this video goes up, they're going to be playing the Lakers in prime time on ABC. Hilarious, right? The Knicks have all these national games and they stink it up every time, right? John Morant put on a fucking show in the Garden a few days ago. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, I just wanted to talk about the Knicks and just how disappointing they are. They're definitely the most disappointing team this season, right? I can't even say the Lakers because they've been hurt, right? And also, they're not good yet, but I still think that for them, there's a little bit more hope to turn it around. The Knicks, there isn't hope, right? There's no LeBron that can change the course of the direction for the team. That's not the case for the Knicks. So it's just a bad situation right now for them. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thoughts on the Knicks. What do they do this season? How disappointing is this? And just your general thoughts on this Knicks season. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button for more NBA content like this. And that's basically it. Thank you guys as always for your continuous support. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.